The stage lights of America's Got Talent blaze bright against the darkened theater, their golden hue bouncing off the polished floor as the next contestant makes his way onto the stage. A hush falls over the audience. From behind the curtain, a small figure emerges, a Filipino boy, perhaps no older than 12 or 13, dressed simply in a crisp white shirt and black pants. His shoes, a little scuffed, click softly against the floor as he walks toward the center. The boy's posture betrays his nerves, his hands clutch the microphone tightly, and his wide, brown eyes scan the sea of strangers before him. The judges look on with curiosity. Simon Cowell, sitting in his trademark white shirt and dark jacket, leans slightly forward, his face unreadable. Heidi Klum tilts her head with a warm smile, while Sofia Vergara clasps her hands in excitement. Howie Mandel, as always, leans back comfortably, waiting to be surprised. The crowd murmurs softly, sensing something unusual in this boy's timid energy. Simon is the first to speak, his tone sharp but curious. "Hello. What's your name?" The boy clears his throat nervously. My name is Carlo, I'm from the Philippines." His accent is sweet, his voice trembling, but every word is clear. Heidi offers him an encouraging nod. "And how old are you?" she asks. "I'm 12, Carlo replies, his voice almost swallowed by the massive auditorium. The judges smile, some chuckling at the idea of someone so young standing on one of the biggest stages in the world. Then Simon asks the most important question. "And what will you be doing for us today?" Carlo takes a shaky breath. "I will sing." The audience claps gently, supportive but cautious. After all, many have come with big promises before. Simon narrows his eyes slightly, as if testing the boy's confidence. "Why this stage? Why AGT?" Simon presses. Carlo's grip on the microphone tightens. "Because, I want to show the world, that even if you come from a small place, with a small voice, you can still dream big." His words are halting, but there is honesty in his tone that resonates deeply. The audience applauds warmly, touched by his sincerity. Even Simon softens for a brief second, his eyes flicking with the faintest glimmer of approval. He leans back and says simply, "All right then, Carlo. The stage is yours." The music crew cues the track. The boy closes his eyes, inhaling deeply. The silence stretches, so heavy, so expectant, that you could hear a pin drop in the theater. In that moment, the nervous boy from the Philippines stands at the edge of his dream. One note, one breath, one song away from changing his life forever. The music begins softly, a gentle piano melody that fills the theater with a calm, almost fragile atmosphere. Carlo takes another deep breath, his tiny chest rising and falling, and then, he sings. The first note that leaves his lips is pure, soaring, and startlingly powerful. The audience collectively gasps. It is a sound that carries both innocence and strength, the voice of a child yet filled with the emotion of someone far beyond his years. Carlo's voice cuts through the silence like a beam of light through the dark. Simon's eyes widen instantly. The ever-critical judge, who has heard thousands of voices in his lifetime, looks genuinely surprised. Heidi clasps her hands to her chest. Sophia mouths, "Wow." Howie's eyebrows shoot up in disbelief. As Carlo continues, his voice swells with confidence. The once nervous boy transforms before everyone's eyes. His small frame seems to disappear, replaced by the towering presence of his voice. Each note carries raw emotion, joy, pain, hope, and determination all wrapped into one. The higher notes cascade effortlessly, and the runs glide smoothly, showcasing technical mastery far beyond his age. The audience is entranced. Many are already standing, clapping along softly to encourage him. A woman in the front row wipes away a tear, unable to believe such a powerful sound comes from such a young performer. Then comes the big moment. The music builds, swelling toward the climax. Carlo digs deep, summoning every ounce of strength and emotion within him, and belts out a high note that seems to shake the very walls of the auditorium. The sound reverberates across the hall, echoing in every corner. The crowd explodes into cheers, screaming and clapping wildly, unable to contain their awe. Simon leans forward, now visibly astonished. He glances at the other judges, as if to say, "Can you believe this?" Heidi mouths, "Incredible," while Sophia is already standing, applauding mid-performance. Carlo's face reflects the weight of the song. His eyes are closed, brows furrowed in intensity, as though he is pouring his heart into every syllable. For him, this is not just singing, it is a statement, a cry to be heard, a declaration of his existence on a global stage. As the final note approaches, the boy steadies himself. He stretches the note, holding it perfectly in tune, his voice unwavering. The sound lingers in the air, hovering like a miracle, before finally fading into silence. For a moment, the entire theater is frozen. The silence feels eternal. And then, like a wave breaking, an eruption of applause, screams, and a thunderous standing ovation fills the room. Carlo, overwhelmed, opens his eyes and sees the sea of people on their feet. His small body trembles, his lips curve into the shyest of smiles, and tears glisten in his eyes. The transformation is complete. The nervous boy has become a star before their very eyes. The ovation lasts for several long minutes, the theater vibrating with energy. The audience chants his name, Carlo. Carlo. The boy wipes his face quickly, trying to hold back tears, overwhelmed by the love pouring toward him. Finally, the judges rise from their seats, applauding with the crowd. Heidi is the first to speak once everyone quiets down. Carlo, I don't even know what to say. That was one of the most beautiful performances I've ever heard. You touched everyone in this room. The audience roars in agreement. Sophia leans into her mic, beaming. You are 12 years old, but you sing like you've lived 1,000 lifetimes. Your voice, it's just unbelievable. I felt every single word. Howie adds, shaking his head in awe. I've been here a long time, and I don't think I've ever been this shocked. I mean, you walked out here so shy, so quiet. And then boom, you hit us with something we never expected. That's what AGT is all about. The boy covers his mouth, trembling, unable to believe the praise pouring over him. But everyone knows they are waiting for Simon. The entire room falls silent as he leans into his microphone. Simon's voice is calm but filled with sincerity. Carlo, when you walked out here, I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect. You were nervous, shy, and very young. But then you started singing, and you shocked us all. That wasn't just good, that was unbelievable. World class. One of those performances I'll remember for the rest of my life. The crowd cheers wildly, stamping their feet in agreement. Carlo lowers his gaze, his tears finally spilling over. Simon pauses, glances at the golden buzzer button in front of him, and then back at the boy. His lips curl into a rare, genuine smile. You know what? I think the world needs to hear more from you. And I don't want to wait. The audience instantly understands what's happening. The entire theater begins chanting louder, Golden Buzzer. Golden Buzzer. Simon slams his hand down onto the button. A burst of golden confetti explodes from above, showering the stage in glittering light. The audience screams at the top of their lungs, some even jumping in their seats. Carlo's hands fly to his face as he collapses to his knees, sobbing in disbelief. The stage transforms into a magical scene, golden rain falling on a boy who, just moments ago, had been trembling with fear. Simon rises from his seat, walking to the stage to give the boy a reassuring hug. You deserve this, he whispers, his voice almost drowned out by the cheers. You've just made history. The audience continues to celebrate, chanting his name, waving their arms in joy. Heidi, Sophia, and Howie clap with beaming faces, thrilled to witness such a once-in-a-lifetime moment. In that instant, Carlo is no longer just a boy from the Philippines. He is a global star. His dream has taken flight, and the entire world has just witnessed the birth of something truly extraordinary.